how do companies decide which business cases to pursue? Are you doing it in the context of a bigger vision and seeing how those line up, or is it just individual ideas that come up and it may have some ROI, it may not actually align or fit with the overall vision? How do these get initiated, and how do you decide what to pursue?
One of the things I'm working on at the moment is the development of a program at Waterloo in lean innovation, and basically taking ideas from the lean startup movement and moving them into larger organizations and what they can do to use that for innovation. And the basis for that is getting over this problem of the leap of faith, right? Which was also what lean startups tried to get over as well, where you had investors not comfortable with putting all this money into startups that they were starting to lose a lot. And the approach they took to it was to say that they would very quickly talk to customers and get feedback on ideas before a lot of investment had gone into it. They developed something called a minimum viable product, which would be a small version or a simple version that would allow them to get feedback to see whether it would work. And I think in larger organizations that's possible to do too, and also for larger projects.
What you talked about is exactly hitting the nail on the head. At IBM, what we move to, especially in banking transformation, is that lean approach, that agile approach to development of anything. And what you're trying to do there is small investments, because the leap of faith where I need $100 million, very hard to sell. Now, having said that, as long as there's business value quickly returned, or it's failing fast, right? So it fails fast or quick return. And then tie those quick returns towards something that is more like I'm crossing the country with a new rail, right? In other words, you have a vision for the future, but it's a lot of steps to get there, and you have to think through those steps to get there, because every one of them has to be able to build on the next. What I'm really looking for, and I was looking for that bridge for, how do I get to that leap of faith? Because there's a certain business case here that I really can't make for a leap of faith type decision. And I don't know how many people here have made those huge leap of faith decisions, like, the $100 million type, $200 million type leap of faith versus it's a couple of $1 million.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and it's, we've not done that size, but for me, the balancing element to Eric's question is, how much do you want to spend on the cost side on each of these? So there's so much cost to mitigate risk. There's so much cost for tangible business benefits. And then there's a cost that you're going to measure and see ongoing outcomes against really super discretionary projects. And it's not just the cost of, capital cost. It's also the ongoing cost internally, not just technology capacity, but also business capacity. How much change, how much investment are you going to make in that transformational thing? Because it's a big draw, not just hard cost, but how many resources are you going to put against it as an organization is something that the executive team needs to understand, and then they can make an educated decision.
I agree, because I think, aside from your objectives, strategic objectives for the year, you have to have a big bet in there. And the big, what we do is for top line growth at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what, we're all supporting top line growth. And to manage and maintain top line growth is the objective of the day, but your big bet is really what to do next. We all have competitors, and they're not sitting still. And they're having the same discussions we're having. So having that big bet is a way to sort of wrap innovation into something that's tied to top line growth. Because whenever you talk about innovation, some people might get strayed and say, well, it's technology, right? But I think, as a company, with a big bet to look at what you have to do next to maintain your top line growth and your viability as a company, and to be there with your competitors or lead ahead of your competitors is the key. And of course, we have a part to play because there's some great innovative technologies that can drive people process, into the business world, into the products and services that we actually deliver. I think that's the key, right?